To Gen Z, there are two 9/11s. One is tragic, the other is funny. That's kind of weird, but I think if we look at the broader reaction to it and the political and social climate that Gen Z grew up in, we can shed some light on the question, why do we laugh at 9/11? My argument is that Gen Z grew up in the perfect storm of political disenfranchisement and extremely bad faith political messaging, that it created a whole generation of kids physically incapable of taking an enormous tragedy seriously. The dust literally had not settled on Lower Manhattan when this pastor got on the air on September 13th and said this.
The ACLU's got to take a lot of blame for this.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I'll hear from them for this, but throwing God, or successfully with the help of the federal court system, throwing God out of the public square, out of the schools. The abortionists have got to bear some burden for this, because God will not be mocked, and when we destroy 40 million little innocent babies, we make God mad. I really believe that the pagans and the abortionists and the feminists and the gays and the lesbians who are actively trying to make that an alternative lifestyle, the ACLU, People for the American Way, all of them who tried to secularize America, I point the finger in their face and say, you helped this happen.
I'm not really gonna engage with what he's saying. I don't think it needs to be gone over, frankly. What I want to talk about is this guy realized something a lot earlier than a lot of other American public figures, which is this tragedy is an enormous event in every American's life. And from it, over the next couple years, they are all going to construct a narrative about what happened, who attacked us, why did they attack us, and how should we respond to it. That is the political opportunity of a lifetime. In the 24 years since 9/11 happened, its story has been bent and folded and squeezed into whatever shaped hole people in power think will benefit them. A really clear and recent example of that is this tweet. I'm sorry if you like the guy. Let's look at what he said. 24 years ago, a group of Muslim terrorists killed 2,700 people. Now, a Muslim socialist is on pace to run our city. These people do not care. Charlie didn't care about 9/11 when he wrote this. He probably did. He probably cared about it. I'm not saying that he didn't care. What I'm saying is he's not concerned for the safety of New Yorkers if Zoran gets elected. He's not stupid. That's not why he posted this. It's because he wanted to stop Zoran Mamdani from getting elected, and he thought the story of 9/11 and the narrative we constructed around who did this attack, being Muslims, would help him do that. In my life, I have never seen a politician bring up 9/11 in good faith. It's always just stuff like this. It's trying to use the narrative for political gain. It's bad faith messaging and frankly extremely disrespectful to the 3,000 people who actually died on 9/11. And I don't think I'm unique in that experience at all. I think it's everybody my age. There was a brief period where pretty much all of America came together in response to these attacks. But I wasn't alive for that. You know what I was alive for? 24 years of an absolute fire hose of the most insincere messaging you will ever encounter. And I think memeing about and joking about something that this extremely bad faith messaging demands that we take seriously is kind of a predictable response. Humor is a defense mechanism to this insincere political pandering. In that way, 9/11 memes are a way of subverting disingenuous and disrespectful messaging about 9/11. In that way, 9/11 jokes as a means of subverting disingenuous and disrespectful messaging about 9/11 is actually the most respectful thing you can do. It preserves the memory of the tragedy by allowing it to stand alone and unmanipulated by political maneuvering. This is why I started this video by saying Gen Z has two 9/11s. There's 9/11 as the event, the one we learned about in school, and then there's 9/11 as the concept. That's what this is. This is 9/11 as a concept. I watched a ton of 9/11 footage and documentaries in preparation for this video, and I can tell you 9/11 as a historical event is not funny. like not remotely, but when somebody uses it to push a political message, especially one that's racist and stupid, it's like a switch flips in my brain and you're not even talking about the same thing anymore. Because honestly, you're not. It's like, yeah, it's like that thing that happened a long time ago that people used to justify like spying on us and hating Arabs. And mocking that is a way of preserving the dignity of the real 9/11. I'm going to be really brave and come out and say it, and libtards, you can cancel me if you want. I did not care for Saddam Hussein. I thought he was bad. Is that fair? Can we agree on that? Okay. Can we also agree that that's not why America invaded Iraq? I was a fetus on 9/11. I was not alive yet. But you know what I was alive for? The invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. And the slow realization over the next 15, 20 years that one of these countries had literally nothing to do with the attacks, and the other was involved pretty non-substantially. And we just sent 2.5 million Americans to the Middle East and spent $8 trillion and directly or indirectly caused the deaths of 4.5 to 4.7 million people? You actually forgot we're also gonna read your emails now. What? I'm not sure I like that. So in the same vein as my first point, 9/11 became a symbol for a war that came at immense cost to the American people, did not make us safer, actually made us less safe because it more thoroughly entrenched hatred of America in this part of the world, which is what these extremist groups feed off of, and took the lives of tens of thousands of Americans and millions of Middle Easterners who, I will reiterate, had literally nothing to do with 9/11. And we got nothing for it. But do you know who did? You will never guess which two industries were the biggest donors to the Bush campaign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Side note, I don't want to make this like a partisan thing either. They also donated a lot of money to the guy who ran against Bush. I don't remember his name. But I don't want to make it seem like it would have played out all that differently if a Democrat was in office. Okay, thank you. My formative growing up years were marked by a lot of Americans losing faith in the idea that America has always been the good guy on the global stage, and that the American government always has our best interests at heart. So when you ask people to take a tragedy like this seriously, we kind of go, listen, we did take it really seriously, and it ended really badly for us. A lot of powerful people took advantage of us and hurt millions of people, so we're wary about doing it again. And I think that's fair. So there are two 9/11s. 9/11 as it happened, which was tragic and devastating and should be treated with respect and reverence. But there's also 9/11 as a narrative, 9/11 as a concept, 9/11 as a collective memory. And that collective memory got used to rob us of trillions of dollars, expand governmental power, feed money into the pockets of the wealthiest corporations in the world, and kill 4.5 million people. So yeah, deal with it. We're gonna make fun of it. I think you're gonna be fine. You can deal with it. And these memes and jokes are a way of keeping that bitterness alive and a part of the national conversation about the government that we all share. So, when it looked like we were gonna go to war with Iran a couple of months ago, almost unanimously the response that I heard from people my age were like, cool, but like, I'm not dying for oil. Which is valid. I think that distrust in the American government, specifically with regard to foreign wars, is in part kept alive by these memes. And in that way, these memes are a way of saying never again. We'll never let this happen again, but also we'll never let you spin false and racist narratives to grab money or power again. You'll never use these memories to hurt us ever again. We will never let you take advantage of us again. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching.